Every human who has ever lived has looked at the sky and asked the same question. Not why are we here? Not what happens when we die. Those came later. The first question, the oldest question, was where did all of this come from? Before science, before philosophy, before writing, humans sat around fires, stared into the dark, and told stories about how everything began. And here's the wild thing. 5 completely different civilizations, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, came up with creation myths that are shockingly similar and shockingly different at the exact same time. The Greeks saw a void. The Egyptians saw an endless ocean. The Norse saw fire meeting ice. The Babylonians saw a dragon goddess who had to be defeated. And the Chinese saw a giant inside an egg who grew for 18,000 years. Waking up. 5 civilizations, 5 origin stories, 1 question. Today, we're going to find out how humans have answered the biggest question of all. We start in Greece, around 700 BCE. A shepherd named Hesiod sits down and writes the Theogony, the oldest surviving Greek creation myth. And what he describes is not a god saying, "Let there be light." In the beginning, Hesiod says, there was chaos. Not chaos like a messy room. Chaos with a capital C. A vast, dark, yawning nothingness. An abyss. Not empty space. Space didn't exist yet. Just the absence of everything. From chaos, 4 beings emerge spontaneously. Nobody creates them. They just appear. First, Gaia, the earth herself, the solid ground beneath everything. She's not just a goddess. She is the earth. Second, Tartarus, the dark pit far below the earth, the deepest part of the underworld. Third, Eros, erotic love, the force of desire and attraction that will drive all future creation. And fourth, Erebus and Nyx, darkness and night, who emerge from chaos and then produce their opposites, Aether, brightness, and Hemera, day. So right away, the Greeks have a pattern. From nothing, something. From darkness, light. From chaos, a kind of order. Then Gaia, the earth, does something remarkable. Without any partner, she gives birth to Ouranos, the sky. She makes him equal to herself, a perfect covering. And then she gives birth to the mountains and Pontus, the sea. Now, the basic geography of the universe exists. Earth below, sky above, sea around. And then, Gaia and Ouranos become the first couple. They lie together, the sky covering the earth, and Gaia becomes pregnant with the first generation of gods. The 12 Titans, the 3 Cyclopes, one-eyed giants, and the 3 Hecatoncheires, monsters with 100 hands and 50 heads each. But here's where it gets dark. Literally. Ouranos hates his children. He's terrified of being overthrown. So he shoves each newborn back into Gaia's womb, into the earth itself. Gaia is in agony. She's pregnant with beings who can't be born. So she forms a plan. She creates a sickle made of flint, a blade of stone, and asks her children, "Who will help me?" Only one volunteers, Cronus, the youngest Titan. When Ouranos next descends to cover Gaia, Cronus ambushes him. He takes the sickle and, let's just say, he ensures his father will never have more children. The severed parts of Ouranos fall into the sea, and from the foam, a new goddess rises. Aphrodite, beauty, born from violence. Cronus becomes king, but he's learned nothing from his father. He hears a prophecy that one of his own children will overthrow him. So every time his wife Rhea gives birth, Cronus takes the baby and swallows it whole. 5 children go down his throat: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. Rhea, understandably, has had enough. When Zeus is born, she hides him on the island of Crete and gives Cronus a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes. He swallows it without looking.
Zeus grows up, comes back, forces Cronus to vomit up his siblings. And then the war begins. The Titanomachy. Olympians versus Titans. Order versus the old chaos. Zeus wins. The Titans are imprisoned in Tartarus, and a new cosmic order is established. The Greek answer to where did everything come from is struggle. Violence between generations. Order emerging from chaos, not peacefully, but through conflict. The universe wasn't created by a loving God. It was carved out through war. Now we go to Egypt, and the Egyptian answer is completely different. In the beginning, there was none, the primordial waters. Not an ocean with a surface and a bottom, just endless, dark, chaotic water stretching in every direction. No sky, no earth, no light, just water. And within these waters, something stirs. Atum, the first god, creates himself. He doesn't have parents. He doesn't emerge from anything. He simply decides to exist. His name means the completed one, or the all. He is everything, because nothing else exists yet. Now, being a god floating in infinite dark water is lonely, and Atum needs a place to stand. So from the waters of none rises the Benben, the primordial mound, the first piece of solid ground in the universe. It's a pyramid-shaped hill breaking the surface of the endless water, and Atum stands on it. This is where the Heliopolitan creation myth gets creative, because Atum is alone. There's nobody to create with, so he creates by himself. In some versions, he masturbates and his seed becomes the first god. Salt is the same. 2 children emerge: Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. The first divine pair, dry air and wet moisture. 2 opposites that make life possible.
Shu and Tefnut have children of their own: Geb, the earth god, and Nut, the sky goddess. But Geb and Nut are born locked in an embrace. The earth and sky press together, inseparable. So Shu, the god of air, steps between them. He pushes Nut upward, separating earth from sky. And that image, Shu standing between Geb and Nut, holding them apart, is one of the most beautiful in all of mythology. The earth below, the sky above, and the air between them, making life possible. And humans? We come from Atum's tears. When Shu and Tefnut were once lost in the waters of none, Atum sent his eye to find them. When they returned safely, Atum wept with joy. His tears hit the Benben stone and became the first humans. The Egyptian answer? Creation is emergence. Order rises from water. Life comes from a single self-created God who was lonely.
And humans? We're tears of joy.
Now, north, to the Vikings. And the Norse creation myth is, hands down, the most metal of the five. In the beginning, before earth, before sky, before anything, there was Ginnungagap, the yawning void. A massive, empty chasm, nothing in it, nothing around it. Except, to the north of Ginnungagap was Niflheim, a realm of primordial ice, freezing mist, and poisonous rivers. To the south was Muspelheim, a realm of primordial fire, sparks, and heat, guarded by a fire giant named Surtur with a flaming sword.
For eons, ice and fire stayed separate, but slowly, the freezing mists of Niflheim drifted south. Sparks from Muspelheim drifted north. They met in the middle of Ginnungagap, and where fire meets ice, something happens. The ice melts, and from the melting drops, life emerges.
The first living being, Ymir, the primordial giant. He's massive, he's chaotic, he's both male and female, a hermaphroditic being who can reproduce asexually. When he sleeps, more giants sprout from his sweat, from his armpits and his legs. The frost giants are born. But Ymir is not alone for long. From the same melting ice comes Audumla, the cosmic cow. Yes, a cow. 4 rivers of milk flow from her udders, and Ymir drinks from them to survive.
Audhumla herself needs nourishment. She licks the salty ice blocks around her, and as she licks, over 3 days, she reveals a being trapped inside the ice. On the first day, hair emerges. On the second day, a head. On the third day, a full man, Buri, the first of the Aesir gods. Buri has a son named Bor. Bor marries Besla, a giantess descended from Ymir, and they have 3 sons, Odin, Vili, and Ve.
These 3 brothers look at Ymir, the chaotic, multiplying giant, and decide he has to go. They kill him, and then they do something extraordinary. They build the world from his corpse. Ymir's flesh becomes the earth. His blood becomes the seas and lakes. So much blood that all the frost giants drown, except one couple who escape on a wooden chest. His bones become the mountains. His teeth and broken bones become rocks and pebbles. His hair becomes the trees. His skull becomes the sky, held up by 4 dwarves named North, South, East, and West. His brain becomes the clouds. His eyebrows become a wall surrounding the world of humans, Midgard. And the sparks from Muspelheim? Odin and his brothers throw them into the sky to become the stars.
The Norse answer?
Creation is violent. The world is literally a corpse. The ground you walk on was once the flesh of a murdered giant. The sea is his blood. The sky is his skull. Every part of the world is a monument to the first act of violence. The gods killing chaos so order could exist.
And the Norse never forgot it. Their mythology ends with Ragnarok, the end of all things, when the world will collapse back into chaos. What was made from a corpse will return to one.
Now we go to the land between the rivers, Mesopotamia, Babylon specifically, and their creation myth, the Enuma Elish, is one of the oldest written stories in human history. In the beginning, there were 2 waters, Apsu, the sweet fresh water, and Tiamat, the salt water. they mingled together, and from their union, the first gods were born, Lamu and Lahamu. Then more gods, then more, a whole pantheon of young, noisy, chaotic deities. And here's the problem. The young gods are loud. They're constantly moving, dancing, partying, making noise in the primordial waters. Apsu, the father, can't sleep. He can't rest. He's so annoyed by his own children that he decides to kill them all. Yes, the first act of a creator god in Mesopotamian mythology is attempted filicide because his kids were too loud. But one of the gods, Ea, the god of wisdom, discovers the plan. He strikes first. He kills Apsu and builds his temple on Apsu's corpse. He claims the sweet waters as his domain. And then Tiamat, the mother, loses it. Her husband has been murdered by her own children. She is consumed with grief and rage. She creates an army of monsters, dragon serpents with venom instead of blood, giant scorpion men, fishmen, raging hounds. She appoints her new husband, Kingu, as general and gives him the Tablet of Destinies. Whoever holds it controls the fate of the universe. The younger gods are terrified. One by one, they refuse to face her. Until Marduk, the god of Babylon, the god of storms, steps forward. "Send me," he says. "But if I win, I become king of all gods forever." They agree. Marduk faces Tiamat. He rides into battle on a chariot of storms, armed with a net, a bow, arrows, and the four winds. He catches Tiamat in his net. She opens her mouth to swallow him. Marduk drives the winds into her open jaws. She can't close her mouth. Her body swells. And Marduk shoots an arrow straight down her throat into her heart. Tiamat dies. Marduk stands over her body. And then, like the Norse, he creates the world from her corpse. He splits her in half like a shellfish. The top half becomes the sky, a barrier to hold back the waters above. The lower half becomes the earth. Her eyes become the sources of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Her saliva becomes rain. Her breasts become mountains. Her tail becomes the Milky Way. The gods become the stars and planets. Marduk creates Babylon as the home of the gods on earth. And humans? They're created from the blood of Kingu, Tiamat's general, to be servants of the gods. Let man carry the labor of the gods that they may be at ease. The Mesopotamian answer? Creation is conquest. The world is a corpse, just like the Norse version. But here, it's not mindless chaos that's defeated. It's a mother wronged, a queen avenging her husband. Tiamat is not pure evil. She's a grieving widow. And the god who kills her becomes king. And finally, we go east to China. And the Chinese creation myth might be the most beautiful of all five. In the beginning, there was Hundan, primordial chaos. Not a void, not water, not fire and ice, just a vast, formless, swirling mixture of everything and nothing. Within this chaos, two forces coexist. Yin, the dark, passive, feminine, earthy energy, and Yang, the bright, active, masculine, celestial energy. These two forces swirl together and form an egg, a cosmic egg. And inside that egg for 18,000 years, a being grows. His name is Pangu. Pangu sleeps. And as he sleeps, yin and yang balance perfectly around him. The egg protects him, nourishes him for 18 millennia. But the newborn world is unstable. The sky wants to fall back down. The earth wants to rise back up. They're trying to rejoin, to collapse back into the egg. So Pangu stands between them. He places his feet on the earth. He places his hands on the sky, and he pushes them apart. Every day, for another 18,000 years, Pangu grows. The sky rises 10 feet a day. The earth thickens 10 feet a day. And Pangu grows with them, 10 feet taller each day, until the distance between sky and earth is vast and stable. Then, after 36,000 total years, 18,000 in the egg, 18,000 holding the sky, Pangu dies of exhaustion. He spent his entire existence creating and holding the universe. But his death is not the end. Pangu's body becomes the world. His breath becomes the wind and clouds. His voice becomes thunder. His left eye becomes the sun. His right eye becomes the moon. His body becomes the mountains. His blood becomes the rivers. His muscles become the farmland. His hair becomes the stars. His skin and body hair become trees and grass. His bones and teeth become rocks and minerals. His sweat becomes rain. His bone marrow becomes jade and pearls. And the parasites on his body, they become humans. Yes, in one version, humans come from the parasites on Pangu's body. In others, we come from the fleas. Chinese mythology is not interested in making humans feel special. His bone marrow becomes jade and pearls. And the parasites on his body, they become humans. Yes, in one version, humans come from the parasites on Pangu's body. In others, we come from the fleas. Chinese mythology is not interested in making humans feel special. 5 civilizations, 5 creation stories. And when you put them side by side, something incredible emerges. Theme 1, Primordial Chaos. Every single one of these myths starts with chaos. Not order, not a plan, not a god speaking things into existence. Just chaos. The Greek chaos. The Egyptian nun, dark, endless water. The Norse Ginnungagap, an empty void between fire and ice. The Mesopotamian Apsu and Tiamat, mingled waters with no form. The Chinese Hundun, swirling chaos in an egg. Nobody starts with, in the beginning, a god decided to create. Everyone starts with, in the beginning, there was nothing. Or everything was a mess. And then, order emerged. Theme 2, separation of sky and earth. In 4 out of 5 myths, the key creative act is not making things out of nothing. It's separating things that are stuck together. The Greeks, Uranos, sky, has to be physically cut away from Gaia, earth. The Egyptians, Shu stands between Geb, earth, and Nut, sky, and pushes them apart. The Mesopotamians, Marduk splits Tiamat in half. Top becomes sky, bottom becomes earth. The Chinese, Pangu physically holds sky and earth apart for 18,000 years. Only the Norse do it differently. They build the world from a body. But even that body was formed from fire meeting ice in the void. It's still about opposites interacting. Theme 3. Creation from a body. The Norse build the world from Ymir's corpse. The Mesopotamians build the world from Tiamat's corpse. The Chinese build the world from Pangu's body. That's 3 out of 5 where the world is literally made of a dead being. The Greeks and Egyptians don't do this, but the Greeks do have the Titans imprisoned in Tartarus, their bodies forming the foundations of the underworld. Theme 4. Water as the first element. Water is the first thing in 3 out of 5. The Egyptian Nun, primordial waters. The Mesopotamian Apsu and Tiamat, fresh and salt water. And the Greek chaos, which is often described as watery, a dark abyss. The Norse have ice, which is just frozen water. Only the Chinese lack water at the start. They have the swirling energies of yin and yang. Theme 5. Humans are an afterthought. And here's the humbling one. In every single myth, humans come last. We are never the point of creation. The universe is not made for us. In Greece, humans are created by Prometheus from clay, much later, after the gods have been ruling for ages. In Egypt, humans come from Atum's tears, an accidental byproduct of divine emotion. In Mesopotamia, humans are made from the blood of a defeated god, to be slaves. In China, humans come from the parasites on Pangu's body. In Norse myth, humans are carved from driftwood by Odin and his brothers. Afterthoughts, given life as a kindness. We are never the purpose. We are the cleanup crew, the after party, the divine, oh yeah, I guess we should put something down there. So what does all of this tell us? For thousands of years, separated by oceans and mountains and language barriers, humans who had never met each other told the same story in different words. First, there was chaos. Then, something happened. A separation, a sacrifice, a battle, and order emerged. And then, eventually, almost as an afterthought, us. The Greeks told it as a family war. The Egyptians told it as a lonely god rising from water. The Norse told it as fire meeting ice and a cow licking a giant out of a salt block. The Babylonians told it as a grieving mother dragon who had to be defeated. The Chinese told it as a giant who held the sky for 18,000 years and then gave his body to the world. 5 answers to the same question. None of them correct in the scientific sense. All of them true in the human sense. Because what they're really telling us is not how the universe began, it's how we see the universe. The Greeks saw a universe of conflict. The Egyptians saw a universe of emergence and joy. The Norse saw a universe of violence and inevitable collapse. The Babylonians saw a universe of political power. The Chinese saw a universe of sacrifice. Same stars, same sky, same question. Completely different answers. And maybe, just maybe, all of them are right. Because the universe is chaotic, it is violent, it is beautiful, it is ordered, it is sacrificial. It contains all of these things. And these myths, they're humanity's first attempts to hold all of it in our minds at once. Next video, we're going somewhere completely different. but equally ancient. The oldest stories ever written down. Not creation, not gods, the first human stories. See you then. If you made it this far, subscribe. Creation took billions of years. This video took 17 minutes. I think you can spare one click.